Hello, friends. I have missed you so much, but I am back for another video. I have a little bit of paint in my hair, if you guys can see that. I have been painting so many things, painting walls, painting furniture, painting my toenails, painting my face. I've just been painting quite a bit. But you guys, I wanted to get on here because last night before I went to bed, I did watch a video from another trans woman that I follow on YouTube. Her name is Bella Joy. I think that's how you pronounce her name. But anyways, she's such a beautiful doll. We follow each other on Instagram and I think on YouTube as well. I'm not really sure. I watch her. I don't know if she watches me, but whatever. Anyways, she made a video last night talking about experiencing gender dysphoria after years of starting her transition. I think she's like 7 or 8 years into, her transition already. And she was basically in the video saying that she is kind of bummed out or sad by the idea that, it's kind of an uphill battle. Like, I think she was under the impression, as a lot of us are, and it's funny because I've never really heard anybody vocalize or articulate what she was talking about, but basically saying like, I'm still experiencing these things after so many years of transitioning, after, having cosmetic surgery, after having laser, after having hormone therapy, after having all of these things that make you look and feel womanly and complete, but yet, we still go through being misgendered, getting clocked, and all of those things. And I've made videos about this in the past, and I know that I've spoken about it extensively. I don't know if I have those videos public on my channel anymore, but I've spoken about it several times because it's something that I think a lot of us experience, and I think it's something that it's very hard to talk about. It's almost like it's a very weird subject to put into words, because I think a lot of us, we're under the idea that once we physically look the way that we feel inside, that the world is going to catch up and they're going to perceive us the same way. And a lot of the time they do, most of the time they do, but I don't, at least for myself personally, I kind of have stopped caring about how passable I am or whether or not I pass 100%. I think for myself, I struggled for so many years in the beginning of the idea that I was getting clocked. I think a lot of the time, like, we sacrifice so much. It costs so much money and effort and sacrifice and work to present feminine and to really put ourselves together to go out into the world and it not be what we expected it to be, because even in the beginning of my transition, I was a little bit naive, but I thought to myself, well, if I look girly and I've got my makeup done and my hair done and, big boobies and a big bottom or whatever, a big behind, not a bottom like as in a front bottom, whatever, but and even more so, like, once I have SRS, I'll be complete and the world will treat me like any other woman. And I think in my experience personally, I know that there are trans women out there that live completely stealth. There are trans women who don't have any issues in their lives. That's not been my experience. I'm a 6 foot tall woman to start with. I don't think that makes me not passable, but I definitely think it draws eyes to me. Naturally, you see a tall person, you're kind of drawn to look at them, whether it be how tall they are, what they're wearing. Our eyes are just, I think, drawn to like tall people in general, the way our eyes are drawn to attractive people. So if you put those two things together, if you're tall and attractive, you're gonna get eyes drawn to you. I think that for myself personally, I had to come to terms with the fact that I may never be 100% passable. And I think that was a really hard pill to swallow. I think it was so freaking hard to come to terms with, there is always going to be someone who can tell that we are visibly trans. And I think for myself, like I had to also like break down why I was so heartbroken and disappointed by that. And I think it's because, you know, we want to be categorized and lumped into and blend in with everybody else, aka other, you know, cis women, you know, other naturally born women. And I had to quickly kind of unlearn everything that I thought that I knew about being a woman, and also just the fact that I am a trans woman. I'm a woman of trans experience. I have a trans history. I don't have the same story as everybody else. And I think over the years, as I've gotten older, I kind of see that with power now, as opposed to seeing it like as my downfall. Because before I used to think, oh my God, you know, I think I'm beautiful regardless of whether or not I'm trans. And now I'm just like, I'm beautiful and I'm trans. I think that's so special. I think that that's something that not many people can say. And so I think for myself, like I had to program myself to think that being trans is not something bad. It's not a negative. I don't have to compare myself with other cis women. I'm my own thing. People can find me attractive if they want to put me in the category of cis women, if they want to put me in the category of trans women, if they want to put me in the fucking category of a mutant. I don't care. Like, it really, to me, doesn't matter. As long as someone's not being like outwardly violent or outwardly disrespectful, harassing me, you know, being prejudiced, whatever it may be, it really doesn't bother me to not be, you know, to not pass as like a cis woman. You know, I think a lot of the disappointment and heartache that I was experiencing was because I was trying to put a lot of pressure on myself to pass as a cis person, and that's just not me. And honestly, like, it's kind of, now that I'm on the other side of that, where I kind of just assume that everybody knows that I'm trans, it has kind of caused me some crazy scenarios. Like, I've gone on dates before, and usually when I'm on a dating site, I put in capital letters that I'm trans, but there have been scenarios where I've gone out with someone, gone on a date, and then, you know, after like the first date or whatever, I bring up being trans because I thought that they had read that on my profile, and they're like, oh, you're trans? I did not know that. And it's, you know, obviously men are not as great on picking up, you know, whether someone is trans or not as women are. Women are more observant. Women are just catty sometimes, you know. We kind of look at each other and stare at each other more than like men do. Men look at us with lust. Women look at us like in judgment, kind of. So but I definitely think that it has saved me a lot of stress. It has saved me a lot of the pressures that I was putting on myself. You know, originally, when I transitioned, I never had the desire to have like really huge tits or a really big ass, or I didn't want to look like a Victoria's Secret model. That was never my desired aesthetic. I honestly, like, even when it comes to cosmetic surgeries, I wanted to get things done, like my nose job or my breasts. I wanted everything to add to myself, like enhance what I already had, I guess, or like the canvas that I had. But I didn't want anything to look exaggerated. I think the best way that I can describe the way that I've gone about with my physical transition is that I just wanted to look as natural kind of as possible. Like, in the sense of, I just wanted to be able to walk down the street and not get a second look, not get harassed. Like, it's made my life easier. I just wanted a better quality of life. And it's kind of shitty that we do have to put ourselves through things like that to not have people be so fucking mean to us. Like, it's like the more feminine you look or the more cisgender you look, you know, the nicer people are, and you fly under the radar a little bit more. But I think that's been my thinking in my transition, was I just want to look, I don't know, I just don't want to walk down the street and be like, wow, that's a man. You know, it's like, now I get to go to the store and do things and nobody really bothers me. You know, I'm sure that there's people that probably laugh behind my back, or they'll be like, oh my God, that's a man. But I don't really care. I think as you get older, and I think the longer you're in your transition, you kind of just stop caring about stuff like that as much. But I think you stop caring because it doesn't happen as much either. So I don't know which one of the two it is. I don't know if I've stopped caring or if it's just stopped happening as much. But I think that viewing being transgender or being a trans woman or a trans man as something beautiful and powerful and a privilege, I think the less you'll feel sad about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like being tall. When I first started transitioning, I was like, oh my God, I fucking hate being tall. I hate being tall. Oh my God, I wish I was fucking 5'6" like every other woman. But it's like, sweetie, there's nothing we can do about that. I'm not going to be able to change that. It's inevitable. I'm always going to be a tall person, and I'm always going to be a trans person. You know, I'm never not going to be trans. I can pretend, I can avoid it as much as I can, but at the end of the day, it's not going to change. So not only am I not going to hide it, I'm going to be proud of it. I'm going to be proud of it. I'm obviously not going to put myself in situations that are dangerous because I know better. I'm not going to go to some fucking nightclub and be like, I'm trans to all these like drunk straight men. But I am just going to live my life. I'm not hurting anybody as long as no one's outwardly disrespectful, whether they clock me, whether they don't clock me. I just have not really put that much importance on things like that. Obviously, sometimes it can be bothersome if someone's like just starts mentioning trans people in front of you, because it's like, who's even talking about that? Like, obviously they want you to know that they know that you're trans. And, you know, people think that they're sneaky sometimes, and it's kind of annoying. And it's not annoying because I got clocked. It's more annoying because it's like insulting to my intelligence that you think that that I don't know that you know, kind of a thing. It's like, I think it's like the little like sneakiness around that kind of annoys me. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't view being a trans woman as something bad anymore. I don't see it as something to be ashamed of. I don't give a fuck how many men try to make me feel bad about it. I don't give a fuck how many women try to make me feel bad about it. I don't give a fuck what society really says about trans people. Like, I know that it's not where it should be or where we should be or how it should be. I'm so proud of myself, you know. I'm so proud of being trans. I've been able to make such a beautiful life for myself regardless of that, you know. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not embarrassed. Like, I'm so happy that I've gotten to live this experience, even though it's been really rough sometimes. It's also been amazing. I've learned so many things. I think I have life lessons that not everybody has or will ever be able to have, you know. But anyways, yes, that's my fucking rant on being trans and dysphoria and whatnot and whatever. But anyways, I love you guys so much. I will see you all in the next video. Make sure you like, make sure you comment if you still experience that. Make sure you comment if you think everything I'm saying is mumbo jumbo and we should try to be as passable as possible, whatever. But yeah, love you guys.